You're listening to Dog Pound Podcast on WBLD, home of the B2 Bulldogs Radio Network.
Welcome, everyone, to all of our listeners from around the world. You're listening to Dog Pound Podcast on WBLD, home of the B2 Bulldogs Radio Network. You can find this podcast on our YouTube channel at B2 Bulldogs Media, on our Instagram page at B2 Bulldogs, and on the web at www.b2centerforhistory.wordpress.com. And today, on behalf of Dog Pound Podcast and the B2 Center for History, we're making history today because our guest in the studio today is our first Firstie to be interviewed on our podcast. And we'd like to welcome Ronnie Ball. Ronnie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hello, Bernie. Thank you for having me. This is so awesome.
No, it's great to have you in the studio. So let's get started. How about you tell a little bit about yourself and, why do you want to come to West Point?
Yes. So I'm from Las Vegas, and in high school I had a group of friends that I loved, and I remember one time they were going to go see a movie, and I wanted to see the movie with them, but they wouldn't let me unless I read the book. And this book was American Sniper. Don't laugh. And
a Navy SEAL movie too.
Oh man,
not like an Army movie.
I know.
Navy
I
SEAL.
wish it was like something else, but no, it was American Sniper, and I just read that book, and in the beginning, what he was saying just clicked. Like, it just made sense because I wanted to join the Peace Corps at that time. I didn't want to go to college, but I wanted to just do the Peace Corps, but you have to do college for the Peace Corps, so that was the only reason why I wanted to go to college. American Sniper, that was the answer I would have told you plebe year, but now, after reflecting and all that stuff, I really realized that most of my friends ended up being in the military, and I had such a tight group of friends in high school, and a lot of people don't have that. Like, those guys really were just there for me. I felt safe and protected. I just really felt like I had a family, and I think I joined the military because I was looking for that. I wanted to serve. I really loved volunteer work. I told you this before, but this recruiter actually told me that there's like a humanitarian branch in the Army that I could join. I was like, bet, I'm just gonna go branch, humanitarian. I got here, that's not the case. I found that out, but I'm here anyway. But I do think, so I joined because of the camaraderie aspect of it, and because I wanted to serve in some way. So, yeah.
And you came here to serve at West Point, the best place to learn leadership on the planet. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about an experience where you developed your own leadership identity and your leadership skills?
Yes. The most developmental experience I've had at West Point has definitely been being a squad leader for CCBT. So that's the prep school. I just loved that so much. It was awesome. Let me think about how I'm going to say this. Well, I would say there's so much that happened that summer. I wasn't perfect, and that was, it taught me things that I want to work on. But I had my little squad. It was actually the smallest squad in the platoon. I was kind of insecure about that. But I remember our initial counselings were about like an hour long each, because I didn't come up with a squad name. I didn't come up with our motto or anything like that, because I really wanted to get to know the squad before I actually made up all that stuff. And so I get to know the squad, and I remember about a week in, they were just not acting correct. They started messing up a little bit. And so I brought them out right before taps, and they had like a little smoke session. And before then, I told them, hey, guys, I've gotten to know you all, and I've really gotten to know why you're here. Because I wasn't going to go and make up a whole, motto and all this stuff like that without knowing who they were. Because some people come to West Point because they want to be in the military. Some people come to West Point because they just want to go to school, or they want to play a game, or, play their sport. And I really wanted to respect that. And I wasn't going to make them be something that they weren't. So I talked to them, found out that most of them were here to do the whole hua hua army stuff, and that was super exciting for me because I feel like that's something that's important to me too. And so when I brought them out, I told them, hey, I'm doing my part for you guys. Like, I'm working for you guys. And I was staying up late, getting their stuff ready, and really trying hard to make sure that they were taken care of. And I told them that, and I said, hey, I know why you're here. I talked to all of you guys and got to know you, and I know why you're here. I'm doing this for you. Meet me halfway. And after that conversation, that was the last time I really had to do anything like that. They were great. Like, it was just so awesome. I was telling you before that my leadership style, I'm not a yeller. At all. And I know that sounds super fake if I yell. So I didn't talk much. Like, I remember having our meals and we didn't talk at all. We didn't say anything because I was scared that if I talked, then they would know that I'm not hard and they would not respect me. So I was like, no, if I just don't talk, then they'll think I'm scary, and I think it worked. They said it worked in the beginning, but then it fell away. My favorite experience during CCBT, and the big thing to get to the point of why CCBT was so developmental, is just because I was insecure about my leadership style. I knew that people thought I was so nice and all this stuff and work hard, but I didn't know if that could really translate to being an officer and leading soldiers. And so the moment that really helped me with that is we were in the obstacle course, the team,
the LRC, leaders readiness course.
Yes, the one where you have to figure out obstacles.
The team obstacle course.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. So we were at that one, and my team, or my squad, they were going through all of the obstacles so well. I was so proud. They were getting it, and they almost figured out, if not figured out, almost every single one, and they were not yelling. They were having just a good time. And NCO or someone came up to me, and they said, it's really funny to see different squads and different people because they really mirror the leader. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, the other two squad leaders have more of an aggressive personality, and apparently their squads were not getting stuff done as well, and they were yelling at each other the whole time. But he says, but then I come and look at your squad, and I know it's your squad because they're figuring it out and they're all nice, and stuff. And I was just like, that's when I realized, this works. Because I have more of a philosophy of everyone just needs to be loved. And if you have that love and you show them how to be competent, then they're going to do well. And I really got to see that in my squad. It wasn't just theory. It wasn't something that I read in a book. I got to see it. This actually works. And so, yeah, that was awesome. The biggest thing about that, too, is they said that they wanted to be leaders. The people in my squad, they told me that in the beginning. And I was like, if that's what you guys want, I'll get you there. And you know how CCPT works, how at the end they become in charge of themselves. And so at the end, 5 out of 7 became leadership.
Wow. Out of your squad?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Smallest squad, highest percentage of people who became leaders. One was the first sergeant. I had a PSG, a squad leader, someone who's company staff. That was just, again, showed me, hey, you're going to be fine. You're going to be a good leader. This stuff works. So, yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Ronnie, for sharing. That's a pretty incredible story, and just to see that growth. But speaking of which, let's talk about your own growth. So you were at USMAPS, right?
Yes.
First? So spent a year at USMAPS, cadet candidate.
Yeah.
Then plebe, yearling, team leader, and then as a cow. But now you go from training people at CCBT with 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
And now this upcoming semester, you're going to be the company S3, and you'll be in charge of almost 120 people.
Yeah.
Can you share with us your vision coming into this next academic semester?
Yeah, so I would say every position that I go into, I just want to make it better. So when I was PSG, I would get feedback from people and say, hey, this is, what my PSG did that I didn't like or did like. And I just tried to fix the things that they didn't like and be what they did like, And so with S3, I'm not super good at admin stuff. So this is kind of me trying to develop myself before I become an officer. But also there's so much that can be done at West Point. We have so many resources and we have so many things that we can do, and I just want to make that more readily available and help that. So I was talking to my team today, and we said that our priorities is one, get the ball rolling. So we want to give people resources to make it easy so their job is easier, and second, we wanted to make sure that everything is organized. So we're trying to consolidate as much things as possible and just make make people's jobs easier. So that's my vision for the S3 team, in the midst of this COVID crisis, to try to just help people's lives become easier, Hope we can do that.
And we're really looking forward to it as a company for B2. But with that, thank you, Ronnie, so much for coming to our studio today and helping us with this show, and for bringing your vibrant and cheerful personality as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernie. I love this. Thank you so much for putting this on.
And thank you also to all of our listeners once again. You can find this podcast on our YouTube channel at B2 Bulldogs Media, on our Instagram page at B2 Bulldogs, and on the web at www.centerforhistory.wordpress.com. And Ronnie, any final thoughts as we wrap this show up?
I would just say thank you again for putting this on. Thank you so much, Bernie, for who you are and putting this on. Seriously.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate it, though. But with that, folks, we'll wrap this podcast up. Thank you again for listening. And you're listening once again to the Dog Pound Podcast on WBLD, home of the B2 Bulldogs Radio Network.
Woo!